Ladies and gentlemen, we do have an update regarding the potential assassination of Donald Trump. I'm going to give my take on where I think all of this leads, but you can see the headline. Thomas Crooks searched sometime before, obviously trying to kill Trump. How far away was Oswald from Kennedy, referencing the early 1960 assassination of JFK. Now, to me, this makes it seem like this kid is just some wacko novice. I mean, you Google something like that, that's ridiculous. Obviously very noobish to Google something like that days before. And apparently they reported he searched that, Googled it the exact same day he registered for the Butler rally. Apparently that's what you got to do with these rallies. You've got to register for them. And that was all on the same day. And now it's also being reported that he didn't have a ladder, which really doesn't make much sense to me. I'll go over the whole ladder situation, but they're still saying they have no motive. Maybe more of his internet history will come out. I mean, originally they said, he's not on social media. There's nothing. Seems like, there was someone else with him kind of telling him what to do. It seems ridiculous that a kid would do this all by himself. A 20-year-old kid waltz up, whether it was on a ladder or whatever, and you've got Trump supporters all around saying he's right there. There's a new video that was released that was a little bit of a letdown. They were like, the title was, "Video shows Crooks aiming his AR at the supporters," and there's like one little frame where it shows it, but Crooks was kind of aiming at the supporters and then also at the local policemen. You guys, I'm sure you've seen the big ladder, the giant ladder. A lot of people are like, how is it possible that a 20-year-old kid was able to get a ladder like that, like across the property, whether it's 2 or 3 hours before? That was not Crooks' ladder, or at least I don't believe that was Crooks' ladder. He bought a collapsible, smaller ladder that folds in or something like that at Home Depot, like in his hometown, and then drove an hour with the ladder and then made it to the event and I guess put up the ladder. It was reported there was in Butler at the site in the field about 3 hours before. He's got a drone up there on the day of the shooting, 2 hours before Trump comes out to speak for like 10 minutes. I mean, and we know about the rangefinder. This is all absurd. So this is all happening. I originally thought that the drone was brought, like he cased out the place 2 or 3 days before. That would be understandable because obviously who really cares if you're flying a drone 2 days before at some random field in Pennsylvania? I mean, maybe if, there were people setting up, they'd find it maybe a little bit strange, but doing it on the day 2 hours before Trump speaks, you're flying a drone around the entire place, casing it out. It is absolutely unbelievable. But the update here, I mean, apparently he searched, trying to see how far Oswald was away from Kennedy, which is, it seems like such a noobish thing to search. I mean, this is really the story they're going with. It's just, and they said in here, we still don't know the motive for it. It's like, this is like the story they're going with. They're saying this is just some weirdo kid. And what are they going to say? He wanted to be famous? Really? That's what we're going to go with? It's like, no, it just happened. He wanted to be famous. He wanted all the fame. He wanted to go down in history. And it's just so unfortunate. And Secret Service, they just couldn't, they just didn't secure it properly. It was a sloped roof. And obviously they've had to since change that. And Cheadle has to resign, of course. She was like the useful idiot they sent out to answer all the questions. She didn't answer anything. But it's like, this is their story, because this does make Crooks look like a noobish, like, you would search something like that. You see a lot of criminals searching, weird stuff after they've committed a crime or before they've committed a crime on Google. It makes them look just, like they're noobish and very, not really knowing what they're doing. But that's the latest on Crooks. And then I'll also go to a tweet that says there was no ladder there. And apparently he climbed up on some type of, I don't know if it was an AC unit, something, and then they're saying he scaled up, some type of a pipe or something. We'll get to that. But we've also got Democrats Act Blue. Money laundering is a criminal enterprise, according to a journalist. Oh, this is unbelievable. So a journalist goes to expose this, and they go to this one resident in Atlanta, Georgia. All these donations to Act Blue tied to her account she recognized as fraud. So apparently, this is from 2012 to 2022. They've got her donating in a single year 590 different times, all very small amounts totaling, around $2,600. In 2022, 217 times for a total of over $12,000. She stated that she hasn't donated a total of around $12,000 to political campaigns. And she said not even close to that amount. And who donates that much? So this is clear what they're doing. You know, a lot of the money, it seems like they're getting from a Swiss billionaire, people overseas. It's all foreign. It's also come out, I don't know if it's in this tweet, but it's also come out that they're very lenient in terms of not asking for anything. When they get this money, the merchant is not asking, where you're from or anything like that. They want to cover their tracks, and it's all anonymous. And they just report, a $10 donation, a $15 donation. Remember, Biden and Hillary, they both far outspent Trump in terms of advertisements. And these people, they claim they hate billionaires, but they always outspend Trump. How does that make sense? I thought Trump was the big bad billionaires. Republicans were going to give all the billionaires tax breaks. So how are they being able to outspend Trump? No, you're right. The 19-year-old barista is donating $15 every day because she's scared Trump's going to put her in a camp. That's how they're able to do it. You're right. That makes total sense. Act Blue disabled their credit card verification process so that as long as the card numbers are valid, the name and address don't need to match the actual card owners. No other donation platform allows this, and it results in higher transaction fees. Why? Well, they're trying to cover up where the money is coming from, it looks like. Breaking, the FBI does not believe that Thomas Matthew Crooks used a ladder to get onto the roof in Butler, Pennsylvania. They said he scaled mechanical equipment and vertical piping on the side of the building. Yes, but if he's got an AR, I'm not sure that's very realistic to me. And why did it also report, this was widely reported, he went to Home Depot to buy a ladder, but now they're saying, no, he didn't use it. He's Superman. He scales up the side of the building. I mean, come on. We also do have, this is a Truth Social from Trump, so basically a tweet from Trump. Trump saying, I have nothing to do with and know nothing about Project 25. The fact that I do is merely disinformation put out by radical left Democrat thugs. Do not believe them. So this is like the third time Trump is heavily denouncing Project 2025. And unfortunately, if Trump keeps having to put out these statements, the liberal attack on Project 2025 has to be working to a degree. Now, it's hard to really say because obviously these last few days, I mean, even you look at the top polls now, they still suggest, even with all the onslaught, everyone's saying they're constantly getting Kamala ads, they're spending millions immediately right out of the gate. They raised the illegal 81 million. They've already got a bunch of money in their war chest. They stopped all of the Biden ads. They totally screwed Biden. It was a complete coup. It was a soft coup. And even Nancy Pelosi admitting, we blackmailed him. It was going to be the easy way or the hard way. We were going to do the 25th Amendment. We care about democracy. That's why we blackmailed the current sitting president and installed someone that hasn't gotten one single national vote. That's true. Democracy, that's great. So this is all happening. And now Trump, this Project 2025, if Trump keeps putting these statements out, it's obviously his advisors telling him this is hurting you. So, he just put out a statement that was really harsh against Project 2025, and then another one today. This is like 2 times in the span of 4 days. So that tells me that this attack on Project 2025 is working. I had said when I read Project 2025, it does read pretty harsh, but if you understand how things are implemented and the separation of powers within the government, it's not bad. This is stuff that everyone does. Leftists do it with their thing where they come out with 100 pages of what they want to do for their next presidency. And so Project 2025, while it reads bad, Trump has some of the same things in it, but now he's trying to distance himself completely and focus on Agenda 47. This is not a good situation for him. Not that I don't think it matters a ton, but if you're going to say this like 2 times in the span of 4 days, it's obviously hurting his campaign at least a little bit. Biden has accomplished more good things in 4 years than any president since Abraham Lincoln. The Columbus Dispatch. It was reported a few days ago during the onslaught against Biden where the Democrats were trying to force him out that in 2021, so it would have been the first year Biden took over, right? This would have been one of Biden's better years in terms of his health because it goes downhill. It was already downhill, of course, but in 2021, it was reported that Biden was trying to close a $1 trillion infrastructure deal. And it got so bad that Biden had to leave the room and Nancy Pelosi had to articulate what Biden was trying to say because they could not understand Biden or he couldn't talk correctly. But no. That was reported in year 1. No. The Columbus Dispatch is right. He's the best president since Abraham Lincoln. They literally admitted he couldn't even do a deal in 2021 because he was so compromised and cognitively declined, and that was like October of 2021. But I'm sure he got so much better in 2022 and 2023. He got way better. This is all total bullshit. They're the ones that, I mean, this is just impossible. If he actually accomplished more, why was he forced out and blackmailed? I mean, you would think they would stand behind him and it'd be fine. I mean, that's how bad Trump was beating him. They had to force him out. There is a way to have GOP landslides again, even now. So the thing that I want to talk about, all voting in person with paper ballots over 3 to 4 days, that's very key. If you are going to do the paper ballots in person, it can't just be one singular day, because I know people say one day everyone votes with paper ballots. Based on the amount of people that have to go to the polls, I mean, you could do it, but it makes more sense to do it over the span of 3 to 4 days with the voter ID, which Democrats have admitted. I mean, we just saw with the new act that they tried to pass, it got shot down. Democrats said, no, we want the illegals voting. You're not going to be able to pass this. We don't want people to be able to show their voter ID. And they've got these nonsensical arguments. They say minorities don't have access to IDs. It's totally ridiculous. It's been proven false. They've got no argument. If you want to beat a Democrat in a debate, just talk about voter ID. There's no argument that they have other than they're trying to cheat with illegals. What is the argument? They've tried the whole it's hard to get an ID. It's all false. It's all totally, completely false. And so they're screwed. If you ever get into a debate, it's a very easy win. There's also fencing going up around the White House ahead of Biden's address tonight, which is kind of interesting. I mean, maybe we'll have to see. There was a rumor that Josh Shapiro was the pick. Now, that had not been the original thought. I'm not saying he's for sure going to be the pick, but I saw a rumor that he possibly was going to be the pick. He was going down in terms of the odds. You had Mark Kelly going up. You had Roy Cooper ahead of him. And obviously, the Jewish issue with now Kamala Harris, Biden refusing to meet with Netanyahu. This is not like a little kiddie show where, oh, we don't like what Israel's doing. We're not going to meet with their leaders. Are you 5 years old? We're trying to get peace. Grow the fuck up and meet with these people. It's your job. Neither Biden or Harris is doing it. Instead, we got to talk about TikTok things with Harris, and Biden is like a walking carcass, can't even answer a question, starts laughing. But no. They're the real leaders. Trump's dangerous. Trump's the one that has to meet with Netanyahu because they won't do it. And it's not like, it's the same thing with Kim Jong-un. They won't meet with him. They're like monkeys throwing feces all around. We refuse it. He's bad. Right? But why don't you meet with him, start dialogue, try and make sure there's peace there. It's the same thing with Putin. They don't meet with people that they disagree with. You need to talk to people you disagree with. It's very important. They don't do it. They haven't been doing it. And then now they've got all these crazy leftist people who are not, they're putting bugs in the hotel where Netanyahu is staying. This is the modern left. This is who they are. All of these people are probably going to be voting for Kamala. And so these are, they're probably all went to college. They're smart. I mean, these are the smart young kids that are going to lead us into the future. More barricades going up. We've got, so reliable sources confirm Kamala is going to pick Shapiro. There's a lot of false shit on X, so I don't know if I can really believe that. Large gap opening between the vibes on here and the prediction market odds. What are the vibes exactly? Obviously they were going to put a huge amount of money immediately behind Kamala Harris. She's totally undeserving, so they have to try and make up for it by putting millions of billions of dollars behind her immediately. Is that what the vibes get? The Democrats bought all the vibes. Trump's still up. He's got a 62% chance. Harris is at 36. And even the recent polls we've seen come out, Trump's up by like 2 or 3 in a head-to-head, which is amazing. If Trump went into election night with a 2 or 3 point lead, I would feel very confident about him winning based off of how 2020 went along with 2016. Let's go Brandon Flaggs at half staff after Joe Biden drops out or steps down. Technically he's still the president. I want to see Dark Brandon come out. Wasn't that the meme? Dark, he's a badass. He's got the laser eyes. Let's get Dark Brandon tonight and have him turn on Kamala and say, I'm staying in, I'm still the nominee. They tried doing a coup against me. I'm sick of it. I don't care. Let's see. The Democrats, they love Dark Brandon. I agree. Let's see it tonight. I agree with the left. I want Biden to come out and denounce Kamala and say they tried a coup on me. It's illegal. I'm staying as the president. I agree with Democrats. I like Dark Brandon. Democrats, they said they like him, so let's see Dark Brandon tonight, and let's see him say, I'm the president. It's a coup. I reject it. I'm running for president in 2024. You can't do this to me. That was a fake article. That was a fake thing that they put out on Sunday. It was a forged signature. Republicans confirm it. So yes, no, I agree with the left. Let's see, Dark Brandon, the meme there. And so we'll have to see if that comes out. I'm sure it won't. Of course, it's going to be all bullshit. It's going to be, Kamala, it's going to be great. It'll be interesting to see how Biden plays it off in terms of he's still technically the president until January, one way or another. Let's say Kamala loses, he's still in there till January. It already seems like either way, he's a lame duck president. Nobody buys that he's doing anything. There is also the thought maybe he will resign sooner and Kamala will become kind of not really an incumbent, but she would become the president till at least January. So we'll have to see what statement he gives on trying to toe the line between, oh, I'm not running again, but I can last until January. So what sickness does he have? Why won't he run? Obviously it's because they pushed him out, but what is his excuse going to be? And really, for the Democrats, what is the strategy behind keeping Biden in until the end of this term? I had said it's because, and they have already started doing this, I don't know how much it's going to have an effect, but they've started doing the bullshit, I'm with her. Kamala could be the first female president. Obviously, if Biden leaves today, Kamala is immediately installed. She's already the first female president before the election. They want to be able to use that. And also possibly, they want Biden to handle everything and then just have Kamala be able to run a campaign without having to worry about being the president and going to all these meetings, just focus on running her campaign for president, because that's what they're going at full-fledged, obviously. The amount of money, the amount of, really just vibes that they've bought with the last few days, that's really all it is. The betting markets aren't moving. Trump is still up significantly. And the other quick point I wanted to make, and this is what I said 3 or 4 weeks ago, right after the debate when they wanted to take Biden out, whether it was Newsom, because at the time people were thinking maybe Michelle Obama, maybe Newsom, Kamala, they think they can just get a redo. So Biden's had one of the worst approval ratings in history for 3.5 years. Whoopsie, we're sorry, guys. We know everything sucks. We know inflation's terrible. We know families have their lowest net worth, based on inflation since forever. They've got no purchasing power. But you know what, guys? We're sorry. That's all. We just want to stay in power. That's all. We have a new candidate now. Don't pay attention to the last guy. No, don't pay attention to that. And now they're actually talking about Kamala Harris's record outside of being VP because it's been so bad. And then also the Axios stuff. I don't know where that is, but the Axios stuff is just crazy. I'm going to try and find that really quickly. And you know what? It's sad because I was liking Axios. So Axios puts out an article saying, no, Kamala was not in control of the border. Number one, it's anecdotal. It really doesn't matter. Kamala has had many statements talking about how she supports illegals. She's very lax on the border, more lax than Biden. We saw what happened with Biden's administration. So Axios reports and says it's false that she was in control of the border. And then they put out an editor's note that says the article has been updated and clarified to note that Axios was among the news outlets that incorrect. So they're saying they were wrong when they labeled Harris a border czar back in 2021. Obviously, I don't think I've ever seen this before. They're simping for Harris so much. They're saying they're wrong. Like what are we doing here? It's almost like we're studying the behavior of a monkey in a cage, like with these news outlets. Like, what is the point of this? Other people reported the exact same thing. And then you come out and you say Harris was not in control of the border. No, again, it doesn't matter. Just look at her beliefs when it comes to the border. Number two, she was the VP and Biden said she's in control. Back in 2021 with a mask on inside, Biden's talking like she's in full control of the border. And I mean, this is the policies that she wants. Go back and look at what she said in 2019 and 2020. She's so soft on the border. She doesn't even want there to be any border. She's one of those people that thinks it's racist to have a wall still. So like these news outlets doing this whole thing where they bend themselves into a pretzel. It's just like, what is the point? You're going to edit your own article from 3 years ago saying it was false when other outlets reported it. There's multiple videos of Biden saying she's in control of the border. What are we doing? You're making yourself look even worse. You are completely self-destructing, and Axios did have some good reports, but this type of shit is just terrible. Either way, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.